Sadly, there is tragic news about Rey Mysterio as his son, Dominik, reacts to this terrible situation. This is breaking news, and we will get into all of the details in today's video. It was just a short time ago when Rey Mysterio showed up at an NXT pay-per-view to be in the corner of his protege, Dragon Lee. Many fans were shocked when Rey Mysterio showed up on crutches, as he barely could make it to ringside. But he put on a brave face as he wanted to root on Dragon Lee against his estranged son, Dominik. Because Rey had to sit down at ringside during the match, WWE decided to put him on commentary. And the reason why Rey had to sit during the match and could not get physically involved was because of how bad his injuries were. Obviously, looking at the Rey Mysterio we saw at this pay-per-view, it sadly looked like his WWE career was over. Obviously, Rey is nearing 50 years old, and very few wrestlers are able to wrestle when they are Rey's age, especially with how many matches Rey has per year. Could this injury be it? Could this be the thing that causes him to give up wrestling forever and to say goodbye to WWE? Well, Rey, in an effort to try and get back into the ring, he decided to get stem cell treatment. And just a few days ago, he was spotted in a waiting room in Austin, Texas, at a well-known stem cell clinic. So when fans saw this, they, on one hand, were happy to see that Rey is doing everything he can to get back into the ring. But on the other hand, fans were worried for Rey Mysterio. The fact that he has to get almost experimental treatments to overcome his injuries showed just how bad his injuries were. And it's not just the injuries becoming worse, but also the news that Dominik Mysterio has signed a lucrative 5-year extension with WWE, meaning that Dominik Mysterio is going nowhere. And coupled with the physical injuries that he was already dealing with, it may have all become too much to handle. But just days after he was seen in the stem cell clinic waiting room, something very bad happened to him. And now the tragic question is it all over? Medically speaking, the last few months have not been easy for Rey Mysterio. Of course, back in July, Rey suffered trauma to the head during a match with Santos Escobar, which sent him to the hospital. And then, back in November, Rey Mysterio's right leg was severely injured by Santos Escobar, which sent him to the hospital again. And with this last injury, Rey has been gone from WWE. Rey has not been able to wrestle. Many fans are very worried for the health and well-being of Rey Mysterio. Obviously, he has suffered both mental and physical trauma over the past year. The mental trauma being the betrayal of his son and former protege, Santos Escobar. And then the physical trauma, the trauma to the head, the trauma to the leg. All of this, for most people, would be just too much to handle. But as we know, Rey Mysterio is very resilient and doesn't give up. That is one reason why he is still wrestling at the age of 49. Most wrestlers either were forced to retire well before they were 50, or they retired because they were just getting too old for wrestling, and either management didn't want them around, or they wanted to have another part of their life. But for Rey Mysterio, wrestling is his life. WWE is his life. And to give it all up is not even really an option. But sometimes things can get so bad where quitting, retiring is not an option, it's a must. Obviously, there are questions about what is next for Rey Mysterio. Will he have to go around on crutches for the next several months, years, or maybe forever? Could this be it? Could we have seen the last of Rey Mysterio in WWE? Obviously, his goal was to return to the company, but now with this latest news, it doesn't look like that is going to happen anytime soon, as a new report says that Rey Mysterio has once again been rushed to the hospital, and currently he is laying in a hospital bed, as doctors are doing everything they can to help him. Obviously, just a few days ago, he was spotted in that waiting room at the stem cell clinic waiting to get treatment. But then, a couple days after that, something happened. Something bad happened, and it's possible that the injuries that he has suffered in 2023 got worse, and Rey had no choice but to go to the hospital. So with Rey Mysterio now back in the hospital, the question is, does this mean that his WWE career is now officially over? And what does this mean for his relationship with his estranged son, Dominik Mysterio? It's unknown whether Rey Mysterio wants to reconcile with Dominik. Obviously, Rey Mysterio didn't really care about Dominik's feelings when he decided to be in Dragon Lee's corner and basically help him take Dominik's title. And Rey did not care that Dominik was devastated that he lost to Dragon Lee and lost his title. In fact, Rey celebrated the fact that Dominik lost. Whether or not that says that Rey has basically decided that Dominik is no longer his son, that they're never going to talk again, and they will never have a relationship. But could Dominik, at some point in the next few days, visit the hospital where Rey currently is and ask his father for forgiveness? Or does Dominik not care about his father once again being in the hospital, and him and Rey will never reunite? Well, no matter what happens with Rey and Dominik, this is a very sad situation with Rey Mysterio once again being taken to the hospital, as his WWE career could be over forever. Do you think it's time for Rey Mysterio to retire from WWE? Or do you think he should do everything he can to one day return to the company? Leave a comment below and give me your opinion. And don't forget to subscribe and click the bell notification and check out our new YouTube channel, Wrestling News Now Insider. Click on the link to visit it now, and you will get brand new exclusive videos.